still have, a very firm footing here in the Tranquility community. But Bork, they're entirely new. They're kind of getting the ropes here, and they're adjusting pretty quick, I would say.
Yeah, and we talked about these standard comps, the Rhine, Diva, Ana, Lucio, May, McCree. But it looks like Bork wants to throw that off a bit, Captain Biscotti is going to be running Ana instead of McCree, and Ash instead of McCree. They still have the Ana on their team, so that little bit of extra range, how do you think that's going to play out in this first fight?
Well, on Ruins, I mean, it's just everything. If you see Widowmaker on here, it's very common. Big eat on the anti.
Oh, the charge already in, but Little Lady and Yojimbo, the charge doesn't actually play out. The early freezes and picks from Rose and Sipsty on McCree and Diva for Comets. An excellently placed wall and an excellent anti from both teams, stopping the healing from coming in. Captain Biscotti does get funny name onto Ana, but it doesn't matter because the Bork has lost their Diva, and that is a fight loss.
Yeah, Little Lady jumped in kind of early without their team going onto the pit. They got focused down so hard by the side of Comets, and then a great wall by Alex to keep their Reinhardt alive, and they're able to capitalize.
A great wall by Starry Night to start it off, and a freeze onto Ruby on that Reinhardt. Rein is such a huge freeze target because you get so much space with that shield down, but it doesn't matter. They get no picks. Bork coming in, no picks, and now they're getting pushed up. Comets are being aggressive up onto this point to push them back into their spawn, and it is working.
Just like I said, Bard, their aggression, it's so crazy with this team. We saw them in week 1 against Boop, and they almost seem passive by comparison, but their progression just by week is absolutely insane. Right now, Sipsty is playing around Ruby so well, using that DM to deny those Ana resources coming out from the side of Bork, and it's paying dividends right now.
But look at the ult advantage. Starry Night already has the May ult, but it doesn't matter. Little Lady gets taken down early. They do commit the May ult early, but it only is going to catch 1-2 people, and none of them die. Shammy Red instead goes down from Rose. Rose also takes that Caden out of that Diva mech, and Starry Night gets taken down by the Reinhardt. You get up close and personal, and you get the hammer to the face. Ruby shows off that Ryan, you just can't mitigate that damage.
And right now what Comets are doing is they're going for these pins. They're going to either get the pin onto Lady against the wall, or they're going to force a counter charge. And when the counter charge is there, Funny Name is throwing in the utilities to anti-Little Lady, and then Sipsty is putting up the defense matrix to deny the resources coming out from Shammy Ren. Very good now coming out here from
Bork pushing again to double wall. You hate to see it. Neither wall gets full utility. Both Diva bombs go out, and neither gets a pick. I stand mistaken. Sipsty gets Caden before they can remech. Captain Biscotti takes down Ruby after the swap to Reaper, but Rose, committing the McCree ult, takes down Little Lady, and Captain Biscotti gets taken down by Funny Name on the Ana, and now the May ult being committed onto the point by Comets just to deny that contesting by Boop. The anti goes out onto Starry Night. They get the freeze onto Lucio, but they have to use the ice block to get back. And now there's no ice block on that May, and Diva's out of mech. A great shatter by Little Lady coming in. Nano boosted, doing a lot of damage, and Captain Biscotti coming back, also helping them out. And it looks like Bork is finally going to take the point with 99% for Comets. What a fight.
Absolutely, a very long contest there, and that's really what saved him. Jimbo doing a great job on that Lucio, peeking in and out, managing to keep that point alive so that Little Lady could come back with that shatter. And then we see a great anti coming in from Shammy, forces the cryo out of Alex, and they all get taken down by the shatter.
And now only one ult on the board for either team. Funny Name coming up on that Nano, while Starry Night does have the Blizzard, and that Blizzard is a fight winner all on its own. But a huge anti comes out. Funny Name has been insane with these antis. Bork does commit that Blizzard. They get both tanks frozen and then slept, but Ruby had been nano boosted, so they were going to survive. Sipsty gets Caden out of the mech, but
the sleep
and the sleep onto Little Lady. Sipsty gets the bomb kill. May and Ryan down for Bork, and now Ana as well. It looks like they're going to struggle to stay in this fight as Captain Biscotti goes down on Tracer. Another huge anti by Funny Name, who has just been throwing out those jars like there is no tomorrow. I don't think he has thrown a single one that has gotten less than 2 people on Bork anti'd. A great showing on Ana, and now the point has reflipped. They're back to contesting this now, Bork. Starry Night swapped to Soldier again on point, but he gets anti'd yet again by Funny Name. Yojimbo, he's trying to contest on that Lucio. He's doing a great job, but he is all that they have left now. Caden is back on the Diva. D.Va on point, but now frozen. We've seen the Mei utility shut down D.Va so much, and it happens again, and now it's just Ryan and D.Va. Tracer is in the backline now, but Ryan and D.Va have both gone down. The Mei ult goes out onto the point along with the D.Va bomb, and now Comets have won map 1. What a fight.
So far, they're just comboing so well. That sleep dart with the D.Va bomb combo was absolutely insane to take out Little Lady, getting that Reinhardt out of the fight. You know, the walls are getting so much more value coming in from Alex here for Comets. You know, when they went into that final fight, Bork, they used the wall to block off the left side staircase, so they didn't really get any sort of isolation with it. They threw in the blizzard, and Sipsky was able to just defense matrix on Ruby, who was the only one caught in that blizzard. So you're coming in with two very important utilities, your ultimate and your main ability to isolate targets and get damage in. Both of them pretty much just go right down the drain. And so Comets, they're able to take advantage of that. They punish, and they go in, they manage to clinch the round.
Yeah, now we are on Lighthouse, a very interesting, very close quarters point, and we're seeing how both teams react to this. Bork have swapped to the Reaper and the Moira instead of Ana and McCree, and funny name, on Comets, they've also swapped to the Reaper, but funny name, instead of going to Moira from the Ana, has gone to Brigitte. Now, we've seen Brigitte do a lot of healing and enable Reinhardt's two charge kills from Ruby. Little Lady gets 2 of her own on the back, but Rose and Sipsty clean up on the point. Just a staggering fight from Comets. An excellent showing from both Reinhardts.
Absolutely, a lot of aggression there. And then when you see Ruby come in, they set up a very great pincer attack with the side of Comets coming in from their side. And then we see Sipsty going over from the right hand. I'm not sure what happened with the wall there from Starry Night. They were playing the choke, but they didn't wall the choke when the Comets came in. So they're able to just storm in and win the fight.
Yeah, now this first fight is happening. We see these Mei walls. Caden has swapped over to that Zarya. You know, we were talking about this beforehand. It really has to be to shut down Sipsty on that D.Va now, but it doesn't matter. Little Lady going with that aggressive charge, gets frozen and killed. Yojimbo and Mudkip both trade boop kills. D.Va and Mei, 2 huge players, but it does not matter. Comets, they're managed to hold that fight.
Yeah, the trades came in, but the trades were just a little better coming in for the side of Comets. They both lost their Reinhardt, but then when you look at Bork, they lose their Mei. You don't have that ability to slow people down. You lose the CC, you can't isolate targets. They have no chance of coming in and taking the point.
Yeah, Mei, we've talked about it, just an incredible amount of CC.
Good wall. Cryo is forced.
Oh, and the D.Va bomb goes out from Sipsty. It does not get anyone. And now, it's going to happen. A wall from Freeze with a huge shatter! Ruby with a huge shatter! They get frozen, but it doesn't matter! The freeze comes back, both teams committing the shatter there, and Bork get the better of it. Now it's just Sipsty on point, contesting for time, while Mei in the backline, Alex is just trying not to die, but it does not matter. Bork are going to get it with about 85%, 84% for Comets.
Yeah, just great old stagger in there coming out from Bork. The shatter lands Jimbo with a perfectly timed sound barrier. But now the big thing is that Alex is coming in with a blizzard. They do not have a sound barrier coming in for this, and they don't have any sort of eye field. They don't have much counterplay. They're going to need to aggressively try to blizzard first if they want to win this here, Bard. We're going with the Death Blossom, and we see Biscotti up on the top. He's looking for it.
Oh, and they go with the Death Blossom, but he does it right into the blizzard. Doesn't get anyone. He just gets frozen right out of it, and now... oh, the beat coming out from Red Mudkip saves his team. They were grabbed and they were getting Reaper Death Blossom, but it doesn't matter because the Blizzard came in after the grab and they got the picks off of it. And now Bork are holding that point, but they committed 3 ults to it.
Absolutely, and if you're Comets, you take that trade. You lose that on the Death Blossom and get shut down by Starry Night, who made a great play, which is unfortunate, but they just used Grab, Death Blossom, and Blizzard, and you gave up your sound barrier. You take a 3-for-1 trade any day.
Yeah, and now, how is Comets going to get into this? They have no ults. They do actually now have the D.Va bomb, but that is the closest by far. Ruby gets stunned, a great stun, and then takes a ton of damage, and now the Moira ult is going to be committed. The Brig ult is being built. They committed the D.Va bomb at the wall, an excellent Mei wall to cap it off, coming out from Starry Night. Captain Scotty and Funny Name are going to trade, but one team has tanks and one team doesn't, and often that is enough to win the fight. Comets are going to push in aggressive now that they've taken out both of Bork's tanks. How are they going to manage to hold this with just the sound barrier on point. A great Mei wall to slow that down, and there goes the sound barrier. Captain Biscotti uses it to take down Rose, playing aggressive, and Little Lady makes her way back in on Reinhardt, taking down Ruby. Red Mudkip and Alex on Mei and Lucio follow, and now it's just D.Va for Comets. Sips T is the only person alive on point to contest, and I don't think anyone can get back there on time to help them out. The Reaper's gonna try, and he does touch. They're still in this, but the ult comes out. Yojimbo and Captain Biscotti get the damage done to keep it down. Red Mudkip now, the only one alive. On point, he committed his ult just to get in, and now it's just Mei. Alex, they're trickling in here for Comets, and how long can they manage to hold this off? It does not seem like much longer, and it's not. Bork, take map 2.
Yeah, Comets Bard, they had the advantage going in. They got the picks. You know, Little Lady, she was just a little too far ahead, got isolated and got killed by the side of Comets, and they just went a little too slow moving to the point, and then you have to be aware of the cooldown. Little Lady was coming back in with Shatter. They weren't tracking it. She just walks right back in behind the entire side of Comets and just drops a Shatter right from behind. And that completely lets them secure the fight. But we also got to talk about Starry Night. That was a massive block, a game-saving block, I would say, coming in to block Ruby Iglis Shatter.
Yeah, just excellent work coming out of the Meis and the Reinhardts.
4, 3, 2, 1.
But now we'll just have to see how this goes. It is going to be my favorite map, the Murder Pit, and we do have
Ryan
the
D.Va.
same comps that we had coming out on map 1. So we're going to have to see if this Ashe is able to beat McCree this time. Slow engages now, just to see who can get on the point, and now Mei's going in. That great wall off on Little Lady. The Reinhardt getting trapped there. We've talked about how it is a great freeze target, and Caden already demexed. But the boop! Yojimbo gets Alex out. No Mei on the side of Comics, and Little Lady is going to charge in on Ruby. We've seen some good charges and some bad charges, and that was definitely a good one. Rose does manage to take out Captain Biscotti. The Ashe still not beating the McCree, but he is the only one left for his team, and he is taken down. Bork secure the point first.
Yeah, Alex makes a great wall to isolate Little Lady, but Caden, she makes a great peel going over the side of that wall. Costs her mech in the process, but she's able to keep Little Lady alive. She's able to go and get that pin onto Ruby Iglis, secures that kill, and Alex is moved into the murder hole. And again, you lose that isolation with the Mei. It's so much harder to win in this composition.
Yeah, now Bork has managed to move their way up. A great dynamite coming out of Captain Biscotti and some great freezes from Starry Night, allowing for that shatter to come in from Little Lady. A great shatter to just clean up that fight early. Don't let them build any ult charges, and we can see it now. 86 on the McCree ult is the closest that Comets are coming to an ult so far, and they've already had a shatter and a couple ults coming online for Bork. They're just losing the economy.
Absolutely. The biggest thing I want to point out right now is that Starry Night is about 90% to Blizzard, and Red Mudkip is not even halfway to Sound Barrier. That is a huge disparagement in ult charge, and a very important one for the side of Comet.
Yeah, we see those sound barriers come out to finish up those blizzards, and now we've seen the Nano. The Nano comes out onto Ruby, but Yojimbo does have the beat on Lucio to clean that up, and now Starry Night, confusing names, they sound very similar, does commit the Blizzard to help them win that fight there, and it's just clean fights for Bork now. They're really coming into their stride.
Yeah, we saw the Nano go on to Ruby as they made their way onto the point, but he was completely isolated, and then the Blizzard comes in from Starry Night, completely captures all of Comets in there over to the left-hand side by the pit, and then we see Jimbo coming in with a very nice sound barrier to keep their tanks alive to stop them being killed by Ruby.
Yeah, and now, how are Comets going to come in here? They immediately commit the bomb. The wall was up, but no damage in from that. No one taken down. Ruby and Rose, they go for the shatter. They only get the Ana, but that is such a huge target. But Rose does get taken out first. No Deadeye for this fight. They do commit Alex's Blizzard. They get no one in it, but they do manage to start the fight win in their direction. However, Sips T does get taken out of their mech. The D.Va Bomb gets committed, turning Ruby around so that Starry Night and Captain Biscotti can put damage in onto their team, take them down, and Bork just win the map. They just fight better.
Piscotti did an absolutely fantastic job. Their dynamites throughout that entire third map on well were absolutely incredible. They stayed alive throughout an engagement, being able to stay on those off angles, splitting up the members of Comets, making them play around the cover, and then just getting these picks, building up those ultimates so quickly. They just did an utterly incredible job there, Bard.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. You know, we saw that first map. If I'd told you after that first map that Bork was gonna win these next two and look pretty comfortable doing it, I think you'd have called me insane.
Epic.
You know, I would agree. I mean, on that first map, Comets were just playing so much different than they were on those other two. I mean, you come in, especially on well, they were getting split much more easily by Bork. You know, Comets coming in on Ruins, they were just way more aggressive. They were coming in, they were getting the walls up. They were all jumping in as a team. Their combos were so tight and so coordinated. And then when you see them on well, the second really anything happens, the second an ult comes in, the second a dynamite from Ashe comes in, you have someone dying earlier, you see people getting split, and they're moving all around, and they're just getting focused down, they're getting isolated.
Yeah, it is really interesting. This meta, as have been all metas since GOATs, unfortunately, is really defined by the amount of CC, the crowd control you can have, which is why Mei and Diva, McCree to a lesser extent, Ana as a main healer, it's why they're so good. Because they allow you to just completely control where the enemy is going. And we saw that so much from Starry Night, who really shined on that Mei. He got great freezes when his team was allowing him to make space. He had some excellent walls for his team to play around. He just absolutely showed up. And Alex on Mei also showed up really well on those first two maps. Just didn't look like his team could give him enough space on that last map, which is really unfortunate as a Mei player to see that.
Oh, for sure. They both were doing an incredible job, really getting those walls up. And then you see a very clear correlation. You know, Mei by far is the most important hero in this current composition and in this meta. And Starry Night, they weren't really getting the value with the walls and the ultimates over on Ruins. But then you see well, and even on Lighthouse, Starry Night was just playing exponentially better. Maybe it just needed to get warmed up or something, Bard, because you saw Starry Night playing so much better and Bork got so much better. And that was a big piece as well, Biscotti as Ashe on well, that really enabled them to be able to come back and take those next 2 points.
Yeah, and now it's going to be really interesting to see this. We are going to move into Hanamura, another map with these really close choke points, where Mei really does just thrive on these maps with these choke points. We kind of see it a bit in Ilios. We kind of see it a bit in maps like Lighthouse, where there's those doorways that you can, where you can block them off. On Murder Pit, I'm sure it has a proper name, but Murder Pit is now its proper name. On Murder Pit, you know, there's those choke points, those main entryways that can be walled off. And Hanamura is essentially just one big map that is those choke points. So I think we're going to see some excellent Mei play here.
Oh, absolutely. You know, Starry Night and Alex, they both had a very strong showing on map 1, and they're both teams, they're going to need them to step it up even more coming into map 2 if they want to be the team that walks away with the win going into map 3. And, you know, seeing that Bork is going to be defending first, I wouldn't be terribly surprised if they run that Ashe again. They ran it on 2 of the 3 maps on Ilios. Hanamura, you have the high ground. You have a lot of areas where you can get positioned up on the large pagoda building above the point. You have the mega building just inside. And then you also have that far high ground over to the right-hand side where the mini building is. So you have a lot of areas if you're a sniper where you want to play. So we might see some Ashe yet again here, Bard.
Yeah, and we are going to make our way into Hanamura, and you talked about these long distance routes, but there are really interesting ways to make those shorter. I know that there is a hero by the name of, I believe, Symmetra in the game, who has this crazy ability that lets your whole team be in 2 places pretty much at the same time. And well, then I guess Symmetra's not a hero, and I don't know how to finish that thought.
You're bluffing me.
No, we've seen some really interesting, just in scrims, and I know scrim bucks have 0 value. They don't adjust for inflation. It's really crazy. with in scrims, we've seen some pretty insane sim teleport strats on both points. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Ashe, but I also wouldn't be surprised if we saw Symmetra or, God forbid, a Widowmaker.
Yeah, Comets had run Symmetra just to get out of the spawn a little faster on Ilio's Lighthouse, which is a very common strategy, especially on Control. You see some teams, they do the Lucio speed boost, and, especially when Dive was popular, when we saw a lot of Mercy Zen back at the inaugural season of the Overwatch League, you would see a lot of Lucio speed boost out of the gate, and they would swap over to the Mercy. And we're seeing that right now, but with a more advanced technique, using the Symmetra to get the team there a little faster, and then with the Lucio speed boost on top of that. So that way, with this kind of team, you want to be the team that gets on point first when you're playing on Controller. You want to be there. You want to have the choke at your disposal so you can set up the wall, and just having that speed really helps you get there, and this really allows you to be the team that has that advantage. But we see on defense, Captain Biscotti, once again, is going to be on that Ashe.
Yeah, really unfortunate we're not seeing the Symmetra, but we are seeing some interesting things from both teams. We're seeing the Lucio Brig again coming out from Comets with that Reaper for Rose, and we're seeing the Ashe Zarya come out, like you said. But we also have Shammy Ren. Instead of playing Lucio, he's going to be, or instead of playing Ana, Yojimbo is going to be playing Ana, and Shammy Ren is going to be playing Mercy to pocket this Ashe. So I think they're really looking for these big dynamites here, and already Starry Night forced to use his ice block, and Caden with an early pick onto Red Mudkip. Starry Night also gets Rose and Captain Biscotti. We said they needed those big dynamites. Takes out Funny Name on Brig. Ruby does trade out Little Lady, so they're gonna be a little low on tanks on the side of Bork for a little while, but still a pretty clean fight win for them.
Yeah, a bit of a questionable move by Bork. They move all to the left to go funnel into the building with Starry Night over on the other side. But Comets, they ended up just staying right where they're at, and they played into the pincer attack. They opened up the route directly to point, but Comets just stayed in that building.
Oh, and a great wall coming out from Starry Night to completely mitigate the wall that had come from Alex to give them a choke point. And Little Lady with a double fire strike. They're trying to move into this close quarters building, and it's not paying off for Comets. They're just taking so much damage in this area where they cannot avoid it, with the Mei Rhine funneling them through. Little Lady gets another one, and Starry Night and Captain Biscotti pick two up of their own. Just a clean fight for Bork.
Absolutely, and another great dynamite on the exit by Biscotti, who continues to impress on that Ashe. But if you're Comets, you got to come in here. You got to stop going right room. They're coming in. They're pincer attacking you from both doorways, and they're opening up the route to point. That's the big thing to take away here.
Oh, and now Captain Biscotti in the back line behind them with the Bob, trying to be sneaky, and he goes over, gets caught by the wall, and now Bob is right in the middle of the enemy team. What is Comets going to do? Little Lady takes down Funny Name. They don't have Brig. Captain Biscotti's Bob does take down Ruby. Rose manages to trade her onto Captain Biscotti, but they have that Mercy. They get the res. Shatter is committed by Little Lady. Doesn't catch anyone, though. But not really an ult wasted, considering that they won that fight and have no one down.
Yeah, that's a Nico push coming out from the side of Comets, but Bork, they play it really well. They use the Shatter there, and they use the Bob coming out from Biscotti, and that's all they needed. Even the Shatter, you could argue, wasn't necessarily needed, but it's a second ultimate. It's not too much to ask for, and they still have 4 ults coming into this fight. With Funny Name coming with the rally, they want to get aggressive here, Bard.
Comets is going to have 6 ults by the end of this fight. They commit both support ults, and there goes the Blizzard. They're trying to catch the Mercy and the Rhine. They do get them both, and they go down. Rose and Alex comboing the DPS ults. Rose does get frozen, but it does not matter. With 5-6 picks on the side of Comets, Bork is going to surrender point A to Comets.
Yeah, we finally see Comets going back to their bread and butter, and that's not really doing anything flashy, coming in with these rotations or having Sipsty split off of Ruby to go to the high ground and try to play off angles. They just barrel in aggressive and just all stacking up on Ruby on that Reinhardt. And then Starry Night, I was going to say it's a Blizzard they would want back, but they are swapping over to the Hanzo. Let's see if they can build a dragon to be able to send down this tight corridor to the side of Comets.
Yeah, and we've seen some great fights in these choke points. A great wall coming out from Mei. Little Lady tries to shatter. Bob does take down Rose, so trade out, because Ruby, along with their entire team, manages to take down Little Lady. 4 assists there, but with that Mercy, pops the ult, gets up top, manages to res Little Lady's Reinhardt, The Shatter does come out. They do get 2 picks for the side of Comets, but that's 3 back for Bork, Starry Night, who'd swapped over to Hanzo with some huge work getting done. Just a clean comeback fight after the resurrection.
I'll be honest with you, Bart. I was worried there for the side of Bork because they're coming in. They were playing this double sniper composition against the Brawl comp, and Comets went in really aggressive with a wall and with a shatter. I thought for sure they were going to take that, but the Staggers come back in. They managed to get the res up onto Little Lady, and Bork, they managed to drop back in and use the spawn advantage to be able to take that back. And now look, Starry Night, just that 1x in the team fight, they've already got the dragon built up. And here it comes!
Funny Name is using the ult. The dragon does go in. It's not going to catch anyone. It's just being used to split them off, slow them down, let the team get in there, mitigate Funny Name's Brigitte ult a bit. But Sips T with the bomb, it gets stuck in the corner, doesn't get anyone. A great charge coming in to catch Little Lady, but it does not matter because Ruby is pushing into that. Oh, it doesn't matter. It doubly doesn't matter because Comets just follow Ruby in and let him capitalize. A ton of damage for Comets, and it looks like they're going to take this point. Captain Biscotti does manage to get it on the Tracer for the stall. Little Lady tried to get out, does take down Rose with the charge out of spawn, but it does not matter. Rose gets taken down. Now, the Moira, Sips T eats Caden's ultimate and allows Alex to commit the Blizzard, and now no one on point for Bork. Comets are going to take it with 1 minute and 39 seconds left. Wow.
Another advantage I neglected to mention at the pregame bar is that with D.Va, you can completely negate ultimates. Zarya cannot do that, as well as just being better in the mid-fight. And yeah, again, just Comets just going back to stacking up on Ruby. They tried to go for the bomb and then the charge on the staircase. The timing and the placement was just a little bit off. But fortunately, Ruby, they just didn't expect that charge from him to send them all back down there. And the rest of Comets, they get aggressive. They see Ruby needs help. They all jump in there. Rose doing a great job backing it up. Ruby and Rose just getting all the kills there. And they managed to control the point.
Yeah, just a great follow-up on the aggression. We've talked about how aggression plays into this meta, but I just want to pinpoint the exact moment. When Ruby charged Little Lady down the stairs, it looked for a moment like the Mei wall from Alex had isolated them, and that they were stuck with an eye field up for the enemy team in the middle of 3 players, isolated by their own team. But what actually happened was the entirety of Comets pushed down through the stairs up to the Mei wall and dropped the wall so that they could push out right as that eye field went down, and took 5 picks in a second. And that is just excellent follow-up aggression.
Absolutely. Just like on Ilios Ruins, we're seeing those combos and that team synergy really coming back into play.
Now we get double Mei Reaper with the Brig still coming out for Comets. They really want to make this work, and I'm interested to see what they're going to do it on defense. Just a slow fox coming out. Can you grab this one for me, Vila? I've all touched.
Right now we're seeing great discipline coming out from Alex, and now we want to see the Ruby goes down to Caden. They make the same rotation, but they're able to do it just a little bit better. And now the wall comes in. They're trying to take their time here. Alex trying to get aggressive on that Mei. They manage to equalize, and they get the kill on the Starry Night. No Mei in the fight now coming out for Bork. The kill's now coming in. Comets, they've stacked up on that doorway, starting to push them back in. They get the D-Mech on the Caden. Reinhardt down on the ground. They follow up, and they start to get the kills. And what looked like such a promising fight for Bork, they're now going to get repelled right back by Comets.
Yeah, we talked about it before when Comets are trying to push through. When you push through that little right hand, there's only a small health pack and a choke point for you to push through. It really does come down to how quickly you can get the picks and get out. And they managed to wall themselves off and get stuck in that room, and it lost them the fight.
Absolutely allowed Comets an opportunity to come back in, even without their Reinhardt.
Yes, and now the push comes through. Funny Name pop Brig ult, and it's just so much burst healing and armor that they're able to just run Bork over when they push in. A clean fight with 1 ult used for Comets.
Yeah, now look at this. They're coming up on 5. They're going to have the Shatter and the Death Blossom as well as the Nano. Actually, a pretty good amount of ultimates coming in for the side of Bork as well. It's going to be which team decides to sag these a little more. Look at the Mei. Look at Alex behind. Goes to the wall. Comes in with the sneaky Blizzard. Are they going to be able to get the value out of this?
And they're also going to commit Rose's Reaper Death Blossom. The Blizz Blossom is such a great combo, but it only manages to take one down and get Caden out of their mech. D.Va demeched is a huge advantage for a team, but with a great Mei wall by Starry Night, it doesn't matter. Funny Name's able to make it around, stops him from capitalizing, and picks him off. So much should have gone Bork's way in that fight, but just didn't.
Yeah, they just didn't expect Alex to be right behind them with the Blizzard. I mean, fair enough, but hey, you gotta check your corners. Anyone ever played Call of Duty 4 back in the day? Check your corners. Now they're coming in. Getting done.
They have 6 ults. They're gonna push in. They commit the D.Va bomb first from both teams, but the Shatter comes out from Ruby. It's just better. But Captain Biscotti commits his Reaper ult and also gets 3. It's 3 for 3 on both sides now. Yojimbo managed to take out Ruby, but Sipsty takes out Caden, boops him off the map with that D.Va mech, and now it is Reaper, D.Va, and Lucio's alive on the point. Captain Biscotti managed to take out Red Mudkip. No more Lucio for the D.Va on the point, and they're about to get demeched by this Reaper. So much self-healing and the Lucio to help them out. And now Sipsty gets taken down, and Bork do manage to take point A.
Yeah, the initial combo with the bomb was better coming in from Comets. Bork really mistimed theirs coming in, but we see Biscotti go for that Death Blossom. Alex tried to wall him off, but ended up just walling him even higher to be able to get the vantage point, shooting down on their teammates. That's going to be one he wants back. He's going to hate to watch that one back in the film review, but now we're going to see Bork coming into the second point, and look, they have the entire ult economy in
They
their
still have
favor.
4 ults. They only needed 2 to take that point, and they're just going to push right through middle. Little Lady does a great job of there, staying alive so that both Lucio beats can come out. And now Starry Night, he commits the Mei Blizzard, he catches 2. If they can take the Lucio out here and the Reinhardt, that's going to be huge, and they do. Little Lady gets both of them, a huge charge, and now the Shatter, there's no Rein shield to block it, and it's so much damage coming out unmitigated. They do commit the D.Va bomb. Are they going to get anyone? No, but Sipsty is managing to stall using that bomb. The wall comes out from Starry Night. It's still Sipsty alone on this point. They're going to lose their mech, but now the whole team for Comets is back out here. Sipsty is out of mech, but that is the only loss for them in this fight. A huge anti coming out there for Shamirem to start that, and Captain Biscotti knows that there's no D.Va mech. He can commit his ultimate. Rose gets frozen while the Blizzard is committed by Alex. Shamirem and Little Lady, the Ana Rhine is taken down. That's a huge double pick for Comets, but that's all they've gotten so far. And they're losing the mechs. They're losing their Mei. The Lucio ult comes out from Bork. How are they going to stop this for the side of Comets? Starry Night has another Blizzard already. They get the Lucio and the Rhine again, but this time they only managed to take out the Lucio. Sipsty does get demeched during that, and they're gonna try and, a huge boop to keep Rose off of the team. Starry Night, though, does go down to Funny Name, and Rose does get Yojimbo. Captain Biscotti, though, takes Funny Name out in retribution. He says, you can take down our Lucio, but you can't tank down me. The Hammond ult on the point, it's a huge space creator. It stops them from being able to push in. Sipsty takes so much damage just trying to push around the point. Yojimbo gets back. Red Mudkip is able to contest long enough with Sipsty. He gets demeched again, but he hasn't been died a single time he's been demeched, and Rose comes in a huge Reaper double kill, takes down Captain Biscotti, Starry Night, and Caden on that Hammond, and the fight is finally lost for Bork.
Yeah, Bard, we saw a lot of great plays there coming out from both sides, especially coming out from Starry and Captain Biscotti, but this is the danger of committing to a fight that long. They use so many ultimates. They use the sound barrier, and now look, now they're going to finish with less than a minute left. Even if they do, they had over 3 minutes on the clock coming in, and it's all for 2 ticks.
And they have to cap this before overtime or they're playing for a draw. And there it goes. Captain Biscotti commits the ult, but the D.Va is still mech'd, and Red Mudkip had his Lucio ultimate. So much bonus healing for whatever the defense matrix couldn't get. But he shatters! But the bomb is still there from Sipsty. The bomb is still there, and it makes the whole enemy team. Bork is forced to back up, not to get taken out by the bomb, but it doesn't matter. Caden still gets taken out, and Comets clean up an excellent D.Va bomb to make space there.
A clear case of ult economy here, Bard. Bork came in, they used everything they had to try to win that elongated fight, and it didn't work out. So when they came in, they made a very nice play, forcing him off the high ground and coming in with that shatter. But Comets, they just had a better counterplay. They sent the Diva Bomb to get them all scrambled. Rose comes in with an incredible death blossom and Mudkip. The sound barriers have been on point.
Still had Blizzard. He's forcing them to stay off of the point. 3 huge picks, both healers down, and Reinhardt. At this point, it's just stall to see if Bork can live long enough, but I don't think they can. All 3 of them taken down, and Comets is going to take map 2.
Yeah, I think if there's one thing to learn from that second point, it's that you gotta know when to give up a fight. When you're playing like that, getting trades will never get you that point. It isn't enough to contest and challenge for that space. You have to dominate that space. And Bork were close to doing that. There were several times it looked like they were finally going to do it. But Comets always managed to come back in with that spawn advantage, and they were able to take it back.
Yeah, it's... Yeah, really crazy how that ends up working out. We've seen some really incredible gameplay so far, and I think we're gonna take a halftime break real quick just to allow us as casters, I need to catch my breath.
Oh, absolutely. Give this man a break after that fiesta.
My God. Vila is going to take some time to break down what's happening, try and explain it to my tiny brain so I can figure it out. So we are going to take a quick halftime break, but we do want to encourage you all, while you're watching this, please, 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 if you see a play that blows your mind, you see an error that makes you laugh, you hear me say something stupid, and you want to clip it, please clip it and post it in our Discord. We love to see what you guys want to see on the streams. We love to see you guys point out what we may be missing. We just love to see those clips. So please clip them and please send them into our Discord, and we will see you guys after halftime. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Overwatch Tranquility. Just a fun little fact for everyone, because I love you all, and I want you to know this before we start talking about the last maps. We're gonna be doing King's Row.
Hold your applause, please.
Anyway, Vila, we've seen some composition changes coming in from the way that they were in the last map. We haven't seen any changes for Comets, but Bork have swapped 3 players out. We now have Ridkos. I'm going to go with Ridkos. If it's wrong, someone will tell me. Redkeld. Going to go with Redkeld. If it's wrong, someone will tell me. And Biohazard, that one I can do, have all been swapped in to play for Bork, and they've swapped both of their DPS out. How do you see this happening?
I think it's going to be very feast or famine. I mean, Starry Night, looked a little shaky at first, but they were absolutely playing incredible on that May, on the second and third maps of Ilios, as well as on Hanamura. And then Biscotti, the hit scan play, absolutely crushed it. They had a big, just a clutch Death Blossom on that Reaper to help secure them point A, which maybe would have ended in them getting full health if not for that. And then their Ashe play has just been absolutely phenomenal, just on point, on fire. The dynamites have been incredible. And then you see Shamarin, who's been their Ana player, hitting a lot of big antis, really helping enable Little Lady on that Reinhardt. They're also coming out. So a lot of big players who have been instrumental in Bork's success so far tonight are being swapped out. So we just got to see what's going to happen with this team now.
Man, the one person we aren't seeing getting swapped out is Sipsty. Some huge diva play coming out, especially on that point B hold on defense for Hanamura, coming out of Sipsty. If I'm not mistaken, and I am often mistaken, so take this with a grain of salt, during that long hold where Bork got the first 2 ticks, Sipsty got demeched 3 times and did not die any of those times.
Correct. And then on top of that, they also had that massive gravity on point B as well. And then just in general, their defense matrix usage in particular has been incredible. They've been denying a lot of value, a lot of the cooldowns coming out. It was from Shammy Rin for the side of Bork, and really just helping Ruby stay alive, really enabling Ruby to play that aggressive Reinhardt playstyle that secured them map 2 and almost secured them map 1. And so if Sipsy continues to play like that and continues to pop off, maybe eats 1 or 2 more ults, it's very likely that we'll see a victorious scoreline coming out for Comets. But only time is going to tell, and we're going to see some compositions coming out from the side of both Comets and Bork. Looks like on the Sigma, but it's probably just going to be for the shield, very top. Yeah, they are going to swap to the Reinhardt.
We have Caden on Reinhardt, Lady on D. Seen them running the inverse in the last few maps. Still a Mei coming out from both sides. Funny Name is still playing that Brigitte, but now we have a Zen Hanzo coming out of the side of Bork. And that, we've seen Hanzo do work already in Red Killed, already getting Red Mudkip. The Battle of the Reds coming out in favor of the Hanzo. Caden, a good charge to not get frozen there, and Red Killed capitalizes on it to pick up Alex on that Mei. And already Bork have won the first fight.
Yeah, the extra shield break of the Stormio coming in from that Hanzo, Red Mudkip, they've been playing very well today. Thus far, their sound barriers have been on point every time, but they got picked a little bit early, and then they lose another. And now Red Held already at 52% over to that Dragon Strike.
Yeah, and I have been told that it is Rykos, so I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry to Rykos. I don't know why there's a D in your name, but we'll ask you afterwards. Anyway, Comets are staging up top. They might be trying to go around this right side and continue to have the high ground. A great Mei wall, though, and a sleep onto the D.Va, but a great counter Mei wall from Comets stops the charge from getting the asleep D.Va. Probably would have resulted in a D-neck, and that is already a huge disadvantage in the fight, so it's an excellent use of the Mei wall coming out. No antis, but there is the Discord still in. A huge Mei wall used to help capitalize, take down Caden. Sipsty is demeched though, and Alex gets taken down by Red Killed. With the headshot on that Hanzo, it does so much damage, but the D.Va Bomb is gonna come out from the lane, and it gets 4 from the D.Va Bomb. They use Red Killed's Hanzo Dragon to split the team, and the D.Va Bomb gets 4, a huge ult combo.
And the disengage was so good coming out from Bork. If you look, they have the Zenyatta as well as the Hanzo. This is more of a spammy composition. They want to play this slow, and they're denying Comets the ability to get right in their face like they want to with that Mei Reaper. And now they have the trans, and they're going to have the anti, and they get a big wall on the Caden coming out, though, from the side of Comets. And the Shatter is massive.
Without the Rhyme, the Shatter comes in. You can't block it. There's no Mei wall there either. Rykos, Jimbo, and Biohazard all go down in quick succession from that Shatter. Little Lady gets demeched, Red Killed gets killed, and that's a clean fight from Comets. What a great strategy pushing in there.
Yeah, Alex, the wall was absolute perfection. Coming out from both of these Mei players, well now 3 Mei players that we've seen so far tonight, they've been a bit hit or miss, but it's not surprising when it comes to Mei walls. They're kind of like a pulse bomb by Tracer. You're not going to hit all of them. They're not all going to be first round draft picks, but when they're on, they are on. And they are finishing with these secured kills onto these opposing Reinhardts. The follow-up has been great from both teams. And now we're going to see responding Blitz coming in with the trans that's coming out.
They do commit the bomb, though, so they are going to take down Blizzard. Caden gets Sipsty with the charge before they can remech. And now Rose doesn't get frozen on time, manages to take down Yojimbo and Red Killed. Little Lady takes him down after the freeze, but it doesn't matter. Caden and Rykos also get taken down. Comets are continuing to win this map. They're going to keep pushing through Streets phase.
Yeah, they come in. They're able to split up the side of Bork, and then the 2 DPS, Alex and Rose on that Mei and Reaper. They're able to go into the back line. Rose invests that Death Blossom, and Alex is able to get the freeze onto the Little Lady, so they can't DM that ultimate, and they're able to get the picks on the support. And now we're going to see Yojimbo switching back over to that Lucio.
Yeah, now the fight's going to happen. A great Mei wall. Alex and Ruby are going to be walled off by Rykos, and both of them get taken out. Caden continues to go in on that Rhine, hammer a swinging, manages to take down Funny Name on that Brig as well, and now the Reapers in the room, they're doing their little dance, making it going, and Redkeld has the support from his Ana, so he does manage to take Rose down.
Oh, that's cheating. He had backup. That's not fair.
Not
Fight
a
the
true
man
one-on-one.
one-on-one.
The book was better than the movie.
But I mean, some fights are pretty easy to break down, especially in this meta, or any meta where Mei is present. They got the wall, they had one on that side of the wall, they killed the person on that side of the wall. There you go.
That's how walls work. Another big wall coming down just to slow them down as they push in.
Great wall.
But another
But
good wall coming out from Alex, and he takes it, Caden, she takes advantage of it. A great charge to follow in on that too. Takes down Ruby with that nano boost that kept them up. Yojimbo gets taken out by Rose, and so does Biohazard though. Rose counters with their Death Blossom. They say, I see your shatter, and I raise you a Death Blossom. Takes down both supports and allows Comets to just push right through and take this section of the map. It looks like they're probably going to get the entirety of Streets phase before Bork can recontest.
And when Caden got walled off by Alex, it forced the side of Bork to try to split and go into that second alleyway that leads to the mini. So when Death Blossom came in, they weren't grouped up. They were split half and half, and they weren't able to really group up and get those kills. And that really enabled Comets to be able to get that win and to enable Rose with the Death Blossom.
Bomb committed by Little Lady there, doesn't manage to catch anything, gets caught on the walkway. And now Bork, it looks like they're going to have to try and work their way back. But the Diva Bomb with the Blizzard, they get 3 and 4 go down. Biohazard, Rykos, and Yojimbo are going to be taken out after the bomb, but that was a huge combo.
And that's something I've been waiting to see a little more of in the series, Bard. It's that Blizzard self-destruct combo. They're all frozen up. It's a very wide area of effect. They can't move. They can't defend themselves. And you just lob in that self-destruct.
Yes, and now we're on this last portion of the map. A huge shatter manages to take Yo down before he gets stunned again before he can use it. But the Blizzard does come out from his team. He manages to boot Ruby off. And Caden manages to de-mech Sipsty, and the rest of the Comets are just going to find their way off of the map, willingly or otherwise, to reset.
Yeah, a little bit of a cast a curse that I had there on Mudkip. I was saying earlier how their sound barriers have been perfection all night long, and then when they're going to want back, they're already down 2. The spawn advantage is going to be coming in for even if they start getting kills and they invest that sound barrier. Now look, they have 4 ultimates on the side of Bork, almost 5 coming into this. They can hold this for a very long time if they play their ults carefully. Let's see if they do that, Bard.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they do. Both Ryans, engaging with that Fire Strike, but another great wall and a great pair of walls. Both Ryans are going to end up being taken down. Yojimbo does manage to get Alex, though, off of that Mei. That's a huge pick. Funny Name, though, takes down Biohazard's Ana, staying in that backline, but he gets traded out. And Rose in the backline for that. Oh, he's going to stay up top in the middle. He's going to look for that huge Death Blossom when he gets a chance, but he's been spotted out. He's going to have to leave.
And since Biohazard has checked into this game at the Ana spot, there's been a very big improvement and noticeable difference in the antis. They're landing so much more of these. They're not getting eaten by Sips T, and that's really enabling the rest of Bork to be able to go in. And Rose goes for that play, gets shut down immediately, but fortunately keeps their ultimate. And now Comets, they're going to have to try to get out really quickly here.
Bork is going to get aggro. A great pair of walls from both teams. A shatter and bomb committed by Bork, and it just doesn't get anything. You gotta think they're overcommitting. They're too far in, and now they've had to use beat to get the Reinhardt out, but it doesn't look like Caden's gonna get out anyway. They had to use Nano too. So many ults needed to be committed to keep Bork alive, and Biohazard still dies, and now Rose in the back line with their ult. Redkeld, though, is gonna combo with Rykos and that Blizzard to get 3. Manages to bring this back, so an even fight, one support, 1 tank, and 1 DPS for both teams, but Caden gets back, gets that charge, takes Alex down on Mei. A huge early pick now in this re-engage by both teams, but it's not going to stop Comets. They can't leave, it's overtime, but the shatter comes out. He gets 4 players down, but it doesn't matter. Redkeld manages to trade. Caden takes down Sipsty. Biohazard gets taken down on the Ana by that Brigitte, but Caden takes Funny Name back. He says, you can take my Ana, but I'll take your life. And now Yojimbo commits the Lucio ultimate, and it looks like it's just Alex left on Mei. I don't think anyone on his team is going to be able to touch if he doesn't stay alive much longer. A great Mei wall to slow them down, but it doesn't matter because Alex stays alive for so long on Mei. He's still there staying alive. He's frozen Little Lady. They've demeched them. It red-killed a greatly timed Reaper ultimate. As soon as the demech comes in, he hits Q, clears that point. Bork do manage to hold on the third point.
Going into that initial fight, that was one of the finest D.Va plays I have seen in Transcendence. We see Little Lady come in, and using that defense matrix, they're able to both shut down Rose's Death Blossom and protect Redkeld on their Death Blossom. And then at the same time, they get to eat onto Alex's Blizzard while they were using their own. Such a clutch play that enabled them to be able to get the advantage early in that fight. And the staggers were coming in from Comets, but I think all of us the entire time, it was inevitable that Bork were going to be able to hold on to that. And then we see Redkeld build up a second Death Blossom in little to no time at all. Ult charge very quickly in this meta here, Bard. And then the second Death Blossom comes back in and finishes the fight that he started.
Yeah, we've just seen some great D.Va play out of both these teams. And like you said, they're really channeling that Thanos. They are just inevitable in these fights. And it's just really impressive, and I hope we keep seeing those. Rykos, though, he teased me with the Widowmaker. He teased me. He was like, I could do this. I could pick right for you. It'd be really interesting. That doesn't. He goes back to the Mei, and I'm a Mei player, so I should love it. And I don't like it.
Now, you mentioned with the D.Va players here, Bard, you mentioned there was going to be an example of potentially how to play D.Va, how not to play D.Va. All three of the D.Va players we've seen in this contest have very much firmly pitched their tent into the camp of how to play D.Va. All of them have been utterly phenomenal tonight.
Yeah, they have been wonderful, and now we're going to see things get started. We've got Redkeld coming out on... Well, Rose, their counterpart, coming out on D.Va, but a huge D-Mech already. Little Lady gets 60 out of mech. Rykos finishes the pick, and Redkeld takes down Funny Name, still playing that Brigitte. And Little Lady takes down Ruby. Bork are just trying to push their way through this. They say, you know what? You took Hanamura, but it doesn't matter. We're going to take this map, and we're going to take it fast. Caden with a double charge kill, and they've already taken point A.
Perfectly timed that charge coming here, Bard. And then, we see that Comets, they were holding very aggressively, and they had Sipsty over on the other side of the statue, but the Sonic arrow came in from Redkeld, so they knew how to approach it. And then Sipsty just got a little too aggressive. Their boosters ran out all alone on the left side of the statue by themselves, right in front of the side of Bork. Easy pickings for them.
Was I muted? I was muted. I hit the wrong button. So sorry, guys. I just want to remind everyone here in chat to be respectful of everyone playing, of everyone who is taking their time to be here. Let's not spam stuff. Let's not be silly heads. Treat people with respect and just have some fun. All right, just a quick reminder. But a quick fight right there. Ruby with some great Fire Strike usage that we saw, and now Bork are going to have their first real fight in this choke point, and the double Blizzard ult.
The big eats!
But it gets eaten. Sipsty again, shutting down Rykos, and Ruby gets to charge in on Jimbo, unencumbered by the Blizzard, nothing to worry about. Redkeld is going to have to get challenged down also by Sipsty up in the high ground. Rykos gets taken out by Funny Name, and Bork have already been forced to back out of this fight.
Yeah, Bork were really depending on that counter Blizzard coming out from Radghost, but it gets eaten by Sipsty, which is their second eat in just 2 maps that we've had so far. And then another great wall by Alex, separating Radghost, and they're able to get that kill and win that fight.
Yeah, and now Bork playing close. Another great Mei wall coming out. Alex, Redkeld commits the Dragon. The Hanzo ultimate takes down Red Mudkip. Yojimbo takes down Ruby. Rose goes for a huge ult in the backline, but it doesn't happen. Funny Name does manage to capitalize on her, takes down Rykos and Caden, but he gets taken down by Yojimbo. It's just the Mei D.Va left. They do manage to demech Little Lady. Sipsty showing up when they need him to, but Biohazard takes down Alex, and now he is alone on this point and demeched. And if they can stop him from touching, this could be a huge stall.
Redkill doing a good job on that Hanzo coming in, using that off angle up on the high ground, getting that dragon and taking Mudkip out of the fight. And then we see another just great anti coming in from Biohazard and a boot from Jimbo, forcing Ruby into the corner. And they're able to win that.
Yeah, and it's, now we saw some trouble for Comets on this point. Do you think Bork are going to have the same problems? Oh, the Blizz Bomb goes in, but it doesn't catch anyone. All managed to get out. A great use of the speed boost from Yojimbo's Lucio, and a great wall to isolate. Both teams commit great ults here. Rykos, he commits to the heal in the ice block and comes out of it really early. Maybe a misclick, gets stunned and just taken out.
Yeah, once again, we see another Blizzard self-destruct combo. They are so strong in this meta here, Bard, and we see why. Even if you don't necessarily get a lot of kills, you're able to isolate and zone so many people off. Kaden on that Reinhardt was so far forward, she got completely caught out on her own and got isolated. There was no way they were going to win after that.
Yeah, it's just a really unfortunate situation there for Rykos. He gets stunned again. Funny name, really taking advantage of the stun capabilities of Brigitte and Ruby with that Mei and that Brig, giving them so much space and so much freedom to get in there and do damage. Ruby is just reaping the benefits of that on the front line.
Absolutely, and there we saw Kaden get a little too over-aggressive. They went for the charge, ended up in the corner all by themselves. Right in the middle of Comets, which is suboptimal, we'll say. Not exactly the place you want to be as a Reinhardt. And, once again, they get taken down very early. And, you can definitely see the toll it's taking a little bit with the swap for Bork. Moving Little Lady over to the Diva, Kaden over to the Reinhardt. Seeing their fundamentals, just the way they're playing is very different. And this tank synergy is so important. The team has to be able to know how you're going to play and what you're going to do. And we're seeing the differences really starting to come in now.
Yeah, really, really interesting that we get to see this point B, like this final corner, essentially. You essentially get to see it every single map. You get a full example of it. Oh, Kaden, she gets frozen out of the shatter. That was going to be a huge combo with Little Lady. They still managed to take Ruby down, and Redkill gets funny name, so it's not a total loss. And they still manage Bork. They seemingly with that ult combo and still win the fight. So just the mere warning of those ultimates is enough in meta to scare people off the point enough to win the fight.
Yeah, Little Lady and Biohazard really coming in clutch right there. Kaden, as you mentioned, gets frozen out of that shatter. Huge play coming in from Alex, but the bomb is still able to capitalize. And now we see Rose coming in, but it's hitting DM by Little Lady with the bomb coming in.
But it gets taken. The bomb does come in. Nope. Again, over that walkway. And now the Blizzard comes out of Rykos. They can't eat it. It gets Red Mudkip frozen on point, but he doesn't get taken down. Kaden does get two. Biohazard, DMX, Sips but the other Blizzard comes out from the enemy team. Alex with a huge Blizzard. Both supports and Kaden get taken down, and Rykos afterwards, and Redkill. And now Little Lady just has to run for their life.
Very gutsy play coming out from Alex. They invest that Blizzard. They were already down 2, but that's how strong Blizzard is here. It's a fight-swinging ultimate, and not only do they get that, but they were able to protect Sipsky Song. They were able to get their mech back,
10 seconds,
and now they're going to clinch the match.
That's the end of the map. Comets with a great use of Blizzard at the end there. Forces Little Lady to leave, but she doesn't get out on time. D-Mex her, takes her down, and she can't touch on time for the OT. Really well done from Comets.
Oh, absolutely. And, both sides, we saw much better usages of Blizzard all around. Regardless who was the one sitting them in. We saw another big eat by Sips T. Again, they're second in just 2 maps. They've been crazy with the eats tonight. Also trying to deny a lot of the Ana utilities coming in. They've been eating sleep darts and anti-nades left and right, especially when it was Shammy playing for the side of Bork. And then with Biohazard coming in, it's definitely been a step in the right direction. But, Comets, they're still able to take it. And we're going to be going into our 4th map, which will be Escort.
Yeah, Escort is a great map type. It really is unique to the point of all Overwatch maps where there's really not a point to capture. It's exclusively moving the payload from one end of the map to the other. And that is where some really interesting I want to say like stall strategies, I guess, can really come into play. And I don't know what Escort map are doing yet, But I can tell you that no matter what, when we get these Mays, there's going to be some big walls that are going to help stall. There's going to be some strange tank and DPS picks in OT to help stall. And there's just going to be some really fun, wacky strats that you're going to see to keep this payload either moving from moving. Hopefully none of those fun, wacky strats involve the letters C or the number 9. But if they do, I'm going to leave that up to you, chat, to let us know. Just let me know. I'd like to know. So hopefully this should be really interesting.
Absolutely. The maps we have to choose from going in are going to be Gibraltar, Havana, and Route 66. All of those open up some different play styles. Gibraltar has basically been known as the king of dive. Regardless of what the meta is, you've somewhat regularly been able to see some dive compositions being played on there, but the side of Bork are going to choose Rialto. So we're probably going to see, actually, according to this, Rialto is not an option, unless I'm mistaken. We'll see. We'll let people smarter than me. It's not my call.
I'll check. It's not.
Yeah, it's not my call either way. We'll let people bigger than me in this community make that decision.
I'm the lobby host. I've seen how that's gone badly in the past, and I will not be blamed for it.
Production, why did we give Bard this power? Why have we let this man in charge? This is a shambles of an operation that we have going on right now, ladies and gentlemen. But regardless of map we go to for Escort, I'm sure these teams will most likely keep it the same. They're probably going to run that Rhine Diva. We're probably going to see, the May Reaper or the May McCree. Maybe Bork bust out that Ashe again, but the style and the meta that we're in right now, it's very, I don't want to necessarily say it's unimaginative like it was during Double Shield, but it is still the meta. And we're seeing a lot of teams right now, even in Harmony, really try to stick to that. It's definitely a different take than what we saw last season, where a lot of teams were doing a lot of different stuff and trying to escape that sort of, meta trap. But right now, it seems like a lot of teams have been just very straightforward.
Yeah, and it looks like we are going to... Okay. I just want to say this right here. Whoever writes paperwork is real unkind to me. Because we are having some real confusion right now about what Escort maps are in. So we're going to have to see what's going on. So, Vilo, why don't you give us a rundown? We're not having any players change. Who do you expect to be the star of this next map if we are playing either Rialto or Route 6?
Oh, please don't put that pressure on me.
Well, just give me some hot takes. I don't care.
Again, everybody has been playing very well. This is exactly what we thought it was going to be, Bard, coming into this. Two very well-coached and well-coordinated teams doing what they do, and that's running their meta play style, playing very fast-paced, brawl-centric style. And so far, Comets have just been getting a little bit of the better end of it. Again, HQC has been doing a fantastic job with this team. I've seen their gameplay from week 1 against Boop. I played against them firsthand. Week 2 with the Jetpack Cats, and now we're seeing them. And just like I said during Ilios, their improvement week by week is just exponential. It's unreal the strides that this team is making. And Bork, they have been a force to be reckoned with since they came in. I don't know if you want to start taking picks for teams to win it all in any tier, but Bork right now definitely seem like they're going to be a top team. They're going to continue to be just a threatening, imposing team with the style that they have right now. And coming into this, it's a very generic answer, but it really is anybody's game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting here. We do have a bit of confusion over what rule set we're using. So we're gonna just let that work itself out. I do want to go back to the two people so far that I think have been the most impressive. Actually, no, I'm just gonna the roles, because I think 4 people so far, in my personal opinion, as a humble DPS player, I think that the tanks for both of these teams have just shined above and beyond anything I could have expected. I've played against Bork already in some scrims. They were just incredible. Their tank line, Caden and Little Lady, have so much synergy between them. And I'd never really seen Sipsty or Ruby play. And I would just like to also, as a side note, if we get your pronouns wrong as casters, please let us know.
Absolutely.
We don't want to get that wrong. We've had some confusion in the past, and I personally would feel terrible if I kept getting your confusion, your pronouns wrong, and there was confusion. So just please let us know. But I think these tanks players, Sipsty and Ruby, I've never seen them play before, and they already look like all-stars going into this.
Yeah, again, Sipsy has really been doing a great job of just staying glued to that Reinhardt, exactly what you want to do in this meta. Their defense matrix, they've been keeping it on Ruby to deny the utilities coming in from Bork. So that way, Ruby can get aggressive and push in and go for these counter charges without worrying about Reaper damage, without worrying about a McCree stun, without worrying about an anti-nade flying into his face. And, it really just, not only mechanically, but just psychologically makes a world of difference when you can trust your fellow tank player, when you have that chemistry together and you know that you can go forward, pressing W and M1 on that Reinhardt, getting those swings in and not being worried, if your healing is going to be there or if your tank is with you. It just really makes all the difference in the world. And sometimes all it takes is just that confidence, just in each other to be able to go in, using that chemistry, using that teamwork, and just being able to roll over the opposition. And Comets, when they've been on, that's exactly what they've been doing.
All right, we've figured out the Bard lobby host issue. I'd like to bring back an old favorite, #blame. We are going to be on Rialto. Looks like we are going to be going into this with the same team setups from the last map. This is a very interesting map. I don't know about you, but I think Rialto is maybe the better of the two new escorts.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Talking about Rialto and Havana.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think Rialto absolutely is the better of the 2 new ones. There's a lot of open space, a lot of great area that players can move around. There's loading and staging options, and I think it just allows for the biggest pool of play and the biggest hero pool, and I think it's just one of the better new maps, personally.
For sure, and it's also just very aesthetically pleasing. When this map initially dropped, I know there were some issues with, balancing. There was some statistic that the attacking side won 56% of the time, which may not sound like much, but when it comes to game balancing and map balancing, that is a massive deviation. And they made a couple adjustments to, I don't want to necessarily say the time, but it was the checkpoints, and the map's been very good ever since. Yeah, I agree with you. It's been one of my favorite escort maps to play. And now we're going to see the Ryan Zarya coming out from the side of Bork on their defense, going back to that, with Caden still on the main tank, and the Ashe coming in, but it's going to be red killed on that Ashe.
Yeah, no changes. So Biscotti's not in to play Ashe. Still no McCree coming out from the side of Bork. I'm going to be curious to ask them about why they don't play McCree afterward. A huge wall coming out. Caden does get locked down by Alex's wall, but it doesn't matter. There's the other wall coming out from Rykos. A huge amount of damage going in from the side of Bork. Redkeld sitting up on this high ground, just putting in headshot after headshot, takes down Ruby on that Reinhardt, and now Rose on the Reaper, going for the flank damage, doesn't manage to take out Biohazard, but that Ana pick would have been huge for this next push.
Absolutely, and I'm going to say that Rydco saved that fight. The projected barrier wasn't there from Little Lady to be used on the Caden. They used it too early on the Biohazard, so that enabled the wall to come in the isolation from the side of Comets, but the counter wall came in, and they were able to completely keep them up, and now Rydco's another big pick on the Rose. They're crushing it so far.
A huge pick. Caden gets walled off and frozen, goes for the shatter, manages to take Ruby down, and that's a huge first pick. Alex also taken down. No Ryan, no May, no fight for Comets.
Yeah, they won that fight so handedly, so one-sidedly, that they got those ultimates up first. They're already coming up on a Blizzard. They got the shatter so quickly. Nobody on the side of Comets expected it. Ruby gets walled off, and Just look at Caden with that hammer coming down right at him, and it's all over.
Yeah, and they haven't made it around this first corner. This is honestly one of the harder parts of Rialto, is making it around these two first corners where it's so easy for defending teams to stage. They can use the corners and the walls as additional shields for their Rhine, and they can push aggressively from those high grounds. But it looks like now Sipsty on D.Va manages to make it up the top, gets that positioning advantage to stop damage down, but it doesn't matter. Bob comes out, and Caden gets the charge on a Ruby. Yojimbo commits the beat, and Rykos takes down Rose. Once again, a DPS and a tank pick for the side of Bork onto Comets, and a huge, massive ult usage there. Only 2 ults used, and they win that fight cleanly.
Absolutely, and to some that might look questionable, but that's a good sound barrier coming out by Jimbo. Caden gets the kill on the Ruby, but they have to charge way into the enemy backline to get it. And without that sound barrier, there's a very big argument to make that Caden gets killed there.
And a double blizzard coming out, and the bomb, it gets started on the high ground. It only takes down Redkeld, and the freezes are there for Bork, but it doesn't matter because Rose and Funny Mame help Ruby move forward out of those freezes and get the picks necessary to take that fight. And now the point is moving forward for Comets, and I don't think Bork can contest.
No, Comets finally build up some ultimates of their own. They send in a bomb right onto the high ground to try to force Redkeld off, but they don't manage to get the safety and they get picked off. They don't have that consistent thumping DPS presence anymore from the high ground.
Oh, the shadow comes out for
Rose. There it gets frozen.
And even the blizzard comes out. Rose, he gets slept at only 1 pick on that Death Blossom. Funny Name in the backline, he's just getting ignored. Gets to do so much damage, takes down Biohazard, that main heal potential from Ana. But Caden, pushing in so aggressively, pushes Comets off of the point for a second, makes room for his team before getting taken down. He does manage to get Rose, and Rykos, the only one left now with Yojimbo on that Lucio to contest this point. May Lucio can do a lot of contesting, so much ability there, but Yojimbo gets caught on the wrong side of his maze wall, and Rykos goes down shortly after him. Caden does get Ruby, though. It looks like this early fight is going to go the way of Bork.
Yeah, but they're going to get Ruby back. That's not a big deal coming out from the side of Comets. And I think that fight is a very good example of why D.Va is running this meta and not Zarya. Again, Zarya, you use those bubbles. You're down your utilities. The utilities come back so much faster for D.Va. She's so much better in long fights. But now we see Rydghost just waiting for Rose and gets the kill.
Absolutely. Getting ready and preparing. And now with the stun coming down onto Ruby, Redkeld, who'd swapped over to Hanzo, already has a dragon, huge amount of damage, but Alex managed to take down Yojimbo and Lady on that Zarya. Like we've said, not quite as good as D.Va in certain situations, and Caden is getting slowly taken down. A great Mei wall, and the nano boost comes out to keep Caden's Reinhardt up. But already, oh, the sleep onto Sipsty. The mech is so low that sleep actually allows Bork to restage, but it doesn't matter. They don't have a way to eat the Zarya ultimate. They're forced to use Yojimbo's ult, but he still gets taken out by the bomb. Redkeld trades out onto Alex, and now the sleep comes in onto Ruby. This is just one long fight, and they manage to get the grab dragon combo. Bork cleaned up with that. A long fight that was looking potentially very dangerous for them, though.
Bart, how long has it been since we've seen a good grab dragon combo here?
Too long.
No, but Biohazard was instrumental in that fight. Another very strong ante at the very beginning of that, keeping Caden up as well as purpling some of the members of Comets, and then a perfectly placed nano boost on a Caden when they were at 1 HP to keep them up on that cart. And then when Ruby got caught in the blizzard, right when they were coming out of it, they slept them.
Oh, the shatter! They walled them off. They got him in position. They were swinging for the damage, but a shatter gets every member of Comets. A huge play by Caden, and another charge coming out there. So much damage coming out of Caden. Redkeld and Rykos help Caden take down Rose and demech Sipsty. A huge freeze onto Redkeld, but he does manage to stay up here. Caden with the charge. He gets the damage done to take down Funny Name, but that charge was not necessarily very well thought out. It does end with them in the ground while Ruby stays up with that shatter. This push coming in from Comets with shatter, with that Brig ultimate, and with that blizzard, that could be more than enough for them to win this fight outright.
Absolutely, but they do have the Reinhardt back.
Now Caden has time to
Dragon
stop, and
coming
the
in.
dragon comes in, forcing the
cryo.
ice block out of Alex. He doesn't have the ice block, and the nano comes down for Caden, and now the blizzard comes out, and now Funny Name pushing in to take down Caden, but no, Biohazard works with him, take down another huge shatter. Caden's hammer has been all over the place tonight, knocking people down left and right, getting frags everywhere, and they manage to hold on point B.
Score.
Ooh, what did I just see, Vila?
You saw much better value coming in from Ridecoast's Blizzard than Alex. Alex uses that Blizzard, Jimbo uses that speed boost, gets them all back. The support line, especially here in the second half for Bork, has been absolutely incredible. We talked about the tank line, we talked about the DPS, but the supports for Bork, this map especially, are really popping off. But good value out of Ridecoast's Blizzard. They're able to speed out of Alex's and disengage. And then right when the Blizzard is over, they don't necessarily secure the kills, but right when that Blizzard is over, Caden drops the hammer, shatters all of them, gets the charge in, and they're able to secure that. Just an absolutely fantastic ability of staggering those ultimates, comboing them one after the one, channeling that CC, this wombo combo onto the side of Comets, and a great hold there.
Yeah, excellently played, and I gotta say, it looks an awful lot more like Bork can manage to take this map. It was a steep climb on King's Row. Once you get past that point B kind of stall fest, but they've managed to hold them at a pretty good spot. I think that Bork definitely has the capability to take us to another map.
Absolutely, and a bit of an unusual spot too. If you look at where that was, right past the underpass, going to point B. You don't see a lot of teams get held right there. Typically, you see teams get held a little past that, around that right-hand corner, just before point B, if they get stalled in the street space. So a little bit different. But now we're going to see Comets doing what I like to call the Comets special. They're holding right out here, right outside the spawn. They immediately force the cryo.
Hyper aggressive. The ice block already used. Both teams already using their wall. I-field already coming out from Yojimbo, who's playing Baptiste and not playing Lucio this time. A freeze onto Sips T. Raikos just chilling outside on his own. His team was not out there with him, and they managed to take him down. Little Lady goes with them. A pretty big start for Comets, and they've lost no one, so they're not forced back.
Yeah, they're going to be careful if they're doing this. They can't lose anyone because the spawn advantage is so ridiculous.
And now it looks like they're ready for it. Caden and Raikos both managed to make it out at the same time. Oh, a huge sleep too, coming in onto Rose. Ruby does manage to trade onto Caden, and they take down Red Killed, but they've lost their primary damage dealer from that Reaper. And with this spawn advantage, it doesn't matter how many they take out now. With this Ryan Zarya, they're going to be able to come in and they're making it happen. Ruby managing to stay up that whole time, but Alex gets taken out. And now Caden gets the nano boost, says, don't mind if I do, I'm going to charge right in there. Takes down 2, and Bork have managed to push Comets away from their spawn.
That's all it took, was the one kill onto Rose to be able to finally come back and just keep brawling your way onto the point. And ideally the way that works is you force the opposing team that's attacking to come out and use a lot of ultimates to be able to finally stop you from holding them right at the spawn. And they aren't really able to do it. They only get the nano out of them, but now they're coming in with the shatter and the rally.
Oh, huge shatter, and they commit the bomb without that Reinhardt. The I-field gets taken down, and so does Yojimbo, and Ruby comes right back in. You know what? You got the nano boost. You were really strong, but I don't need the nano boost. I'm going to come in and shatter your whole team and let you all die.
Yeah, but they do invest 3 ultimates there, Bard. Definitely could have got it done in 2. And now they're going to be coming back with the grab here on the side of Bork. But we are going to see Mudkip. He's building up to another sound barrier. They're going to need to stay alive here. Build up that last little bit. The window's coming in. It's placed very far forward.
Commit the Baptiste stall, and it lets Raikos get the pick. A huge shatter. But with the Blizzard in, Mudkip manages to have time to use his ultimate. Rose also committing the Death Blossom. You got a beat and a Blossom, and now it's just Lady getting staggered on that Zarya. How long are they going to be there? They're down.
Longer. Rose has been the backline killer every single time that Bork think they're finally going to break free and they're going to make some ground here. Rose just jumps into the middle inside of a Blizzard with that Death Blossom. So another gutsy call by Alex, but I love it. I love the aggression coming out. But now look at this. They had to invest a sound barrier. And now Lady, it's going to be big. It has to be on Sipsy. They have to eat this grab.
Sips T is going to be looking for this grab. He knows that they have it. He's got to know that they're looking for it. A huge pair of walls. Both Reinhardts get taken down, and the grab doesn't get eaten. That's a really big grab. Both supports do actually get frozen in it. Funny Name and Rose managed to take down the damage dealers that should be in there for that grab, so it does get mitigated to an extent, but it is a 4-on-4 on this point. But it looks like both Ryans are going to make it back at relatively the same time. Caden looking for the damage, looking for the swing. Rose in the background. No, Red Kill manages to DMX Sipsty, takes down Alex, and makes room for Caden to get the pick. Rose looking for the response, gets Little Lady and Red Kill before Caden charges them down. And Funny Name, he's gonna use Briggs' ultimate to keep himself up and let his team get in there with him. He does get frozen, but Sipsty gets the mech back, has that bomb, throws it out, but it gets stuck on the roof. It doesn't get anyone. They had a huge opportunity there, but it gets taken out. Caden, 2 big picks on Reinhardt, and now they're pushing in. They've got to be aggressive. That's a huge charge onto Ruby. A lot of damage in there, and the Fire Strike hits them, and their Yojimbo is going to use the sound barrier. So now Alex used the Cryo Freeze, was forced back, and gets taken down the push. Are Comets going to recontest here?
They definitely can. Alex getting picked definitely hurts their chances because he has the Blizzard. He was playing a little too aggressive, too far forward, and that could cost Comets dearly here, but they get the kill on the Little Lady.
There's the touch. Little Lady goes in trying to keep them off, but it doesn't matter. They actually take them down, and now Funny Name with 2 huge picks. We've seen the 3 huge picks. We've seen the Brig be big all night, and now Comets are going to take the map and the match 3-1.
Yeah, and it was just all about the ult staggering there, Bard. They forced Bork to use everything to get out of that. Comets just kept throwing themselves onto the cart. They just didn't give up on it. The aggression ended up working out for the side of Comets. Bork had to use everything just to get them off, just to be able to push around that corner. And then once they did, you know, Comets, they were able to just come back in with their own ultimates, and Bork, they had nothing to challenge it.
Yeah, and I've got to say, the Rhine Zarya did not look nearly as bad on this map, especially with how good that hold was. But Sips T on Diva, Funny Name on Brig, looking at this card right now, Funny Name on Brig almost 15k healing. That is so much for a Brigida. When you play this aggressive composition with this Lucio Brig, it really doesn't matter that you don't have a quote-unquote main support or main healer. You still get that healing out just from doing the damage, being in their face. You're playing Reaper who keeps people up, and it's just winning you games and keeping your tanks up, and it's letting your Rhine play as aggressive as possible. And I think teams in Harmony especially are going to be learning from this going forward.
Absolutely. Funny Name made some really big plays there on Rialto. They did cancel one of Caden's Earth Shatters on their attacking round. Then on defense in that final fiesta of just ults and bodies onto the cart, they were able to be the one person when Caden came back with their shatter to not get shattered, tried to repel Caden off so that way their teammates could stay alive, and that way they could come back and not give up that point A take. Because if so, we'd still be playing right now. Bork would be going down the streets phase, knocking on the door of Comets to force a map 5. So just like you said, when it comes to that Brigida, a lot of teams aren't running that right now. A lot of teams are choosing the Ana, but yeah, great plays coming out from Funny Name, and a big congratulations to Comets. They are your Harmony tier preseason champions, winning 3-1 over Bork.
Yeah, an absolutely incredible game. If you guys saw anything that impressed you, if we said anything funny, if me managing to do play-by-play for like 5 seconds straight on Hanamura managed to impress you guys, please clip it. Please send it into Trank. We love to see what you guys find impressive, and we love the engagement from the community. So please clip it all, send it all into us. We don't care how silly, funny, or great it is, but we want to see you. I've been Bard on Play-by-Play. I've been joined by Vila, being my analyst for the night, and we've had the ever-wonderful Juke running the game for us. We will see you guys around, and thanks for... Oh, not quite done. We do have the Iris podcast this Monday. Please tune in for some hot, spicy takes, some fun predictions for the first week of the